Welcome back to the shipping container home we're building in the middle of the woods. Last week we worked on making sure that we have a heat source before winter arrives, and today we're working on the very important task of keeping that heat in. We've got a crew coming down the driveway right now, and it's time to get to work. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I'm Tyler, this is Todd, and welcome to our 10-acre, fully off-grid homestead in the middle of the forest. Nearly 3 years ago, after living full-time in an RV, we parked it here with the goal of putting down roots. Since then, we've been working towards a dream of building a state-of-the-art shipping container home, taking on projects way outside of our comfort zone, from building driveways, installing underground plumbing and electrical, to building gardens to supply our own food. We've tackled it all, but we were only just getting started. From design to engineering, permitting, and finally fabrication, building our container home would take years of hard work. But tired of the cold and cramped living quarters of an RV, we needed a new home, and we needed it now.
I feel cheap.
And that sent us on the epic adventure of building a geodesic dome to live in, complete with all of the modern amenities like a beautiful kitchen, heat and air conditioning, and even a few extra perks like a cedared wood-fired sauna and hot tub made life comfortable again. It gave us the energy we needed for what was next. As our container home was craned into place, a major issue was discovered that halted construction for over 3 months. With no way to access the upper level, it was back to the drawing board. And now, with a rough plan finally in place, we've been tackling projects one by one to turn these 4 shipping containers into our dream home. And today is no exception. We post new videos every Sunday, so if you end up enjoying this one, consider subscribing, give it a thumbs up, and come along.
I wanna run away with you. I don't really care where to. Just wanna be alone with you.
So, the very first thing we need to do is clean the debris off of this roof. So right now we're over top of the living room and the front entrance, and this roof is gonna get 5 inches of closed cell spray foam, and that's gonna give us R40 on top of the 2 inches of spray foam that's going on the ceiling in the living room. So it's gonna be nice and insulated in here. Being off-grid, that's one thing that we really want to be aware of, is any amount of heat that we're producing. We want to make sure it's staying inside of the building and not going out of it, because that's not very efficient.
Yeah.
So we've got some brooms, some leaf blowers, and a positive attitude, and we're gonna get this cleaned. Okay.
I've been through heavy rain. I heard the hurricanes where I found my sunshine. Don't need no dollar bills. I love my simple thrills. Beauty on the inside.
So we did our best clearing the roof. We got all of the leaves and the twigs and stuff, but there is still a small little film of like needles and stuff that we couldn't get with the leaf blower. And of course, it started to rain, and rain is like the arch nemesis of spray foam. So, I mean, it's just like our luck, right? It's how it goes, but we're gonna hopefully just let the rain dry a little bit and then I guess hopefully continue. So now what we need to do is go underneath the shipping container home and mark the channel for the plumbing. So guys are under there right now. What we're doing is spraying 5 inches of closed cell spray foam under this entire cavity underneath here. However, we need to leave a small space to allow all of the plumbing and electrical lines to get all over the house, while still balancing the fact that the shipping container house needs to be warm this winter. It's very much a tricky balance around here. So we're gonna map out where we're gonna put everything and figure it out.
I think to get upstairs, they're talking of going up through the wall with the plumbing.
Yeah.
We'll run the channels this way through the joist, but when we get to the third container where we have to get to the kitchen,
Yeah, gotta go over, does it?
yeah, it's got to go down
We'll crawl under and mark it, because there is a bathroom over there.
over this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go under.
If you want to mark it, that's good.
You ready to do this?
Yeah, cough.
Okay, we are gonna venture underneath the shipping container home and get this done.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
so I'm thinking maybe we should leave 3 channels open, because we have the lines coming in, electric going out, and water going out.
Sure. Just to be on the safe side?
Yeah, because like, what's the difference? They foam it now, or they do it when they come back?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, that's our plan.
How do you feel?
Good, hope it works. So this is definitely an exposure therapy to my fear of small spaces. Oh, it is tight under here and we're on a hill, so it's getting smaller and smaller as we're going up. Let's keep going. And I wanted to leave a bit of space, that way we've got room to put like bends in the pipe.
Yeah.
So we'll hit that open space,
Yeah.
and come all the way through, and then right here is where we're gonna tee off to go to the bathroom.
I'll let them go under. I'm kind of claustrophobic, so it's a no for me.
I'll do my best.
Good practice for the army.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm getting good at crawling like this.
Daylight. Oh, well, I guess it's raining. At least I know I fit. So worst case scenario, I volunteer as tribute to be the one to run the plumbing lines under there.
What a vibe.
It's so cozy in here. It started raining, that's why it's so dark, but it's really nice in here. It's warm.
Well, also the windows are all covered now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guys did a great job getting that all done.
Going for a Dexter look in here.
It literally does look like Dexter. But we've had to turn on the fire. I mean, mainly because it's cold, but also because it's a shipping container. The spray foam is like the only way to do it, but in order to do the interior, we have to prevent it from the metal being cold, because it'll create condensation.
And then the water will stop the spray foam from adhering to it.
Yeah.
And that's not good because we need to insulate in here. So
No good.
Yeah?
We're tight, man.
Yeah, you look like you were barely fitting.
It gets a little stressful when you get in there. You can't turn a little bit. You can't panic, right?
Yeah.
And then that little bit of foam sometimes it's kind of.
Are you claustrophobic at all?
No, not really.
Oh.
I wouldn't have been able to go in there.
I got over my fear of small space this morning when I went in with the spray paint.
Yeah, you guys gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm getting close.
How much
Nice.
do you have left?
I just get this section here.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I think I'm right here. So this spot over here, where we leave it any, like you got lines. We were at first, you were thinking about just leaving an inch there. You're using the channel to run the plumbing down, right?
That noise is his respirator. Spray foam is actually really chemically. So you need to make sure you wear proper equipment. So sorry about that noise.
This one's empty. This one can be filled, but I'm gonna leave like a foot.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna push you guys in so the camera doesn't break. We're gonna figure out the proper channel for all of the plumbing just to make sure we're all on the same page.
You can fill both sides. It's just that way they can just quickly run a text line through, and then we'll do it once it's done.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure. You get a little confused when you get in here.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like amazing. Everything looks the same. Crazy. Yeah. Out of nowhere, the sky literally opened up. So loud. Yeah. On the metal roof. Won't be when the foam gets in.
No.
It's such a beautiful view, like doing dishes here and stuff.
Has it sunken in yet?
No, not yet. The rain ended up not giving us a break, so instead of sitting around doing nothing, we called it for the day. The reason for that is there's two types of spray foam. So there's 5-inch, which is what we're using on the outside, and then 2-inch, which is what we're using on the inside.
Which is kind of strange because like that's not like the thickness that we're doing on the exterior or interior. There's definitely some sort of like I don't get it.
I asked what it was.
Oh, you
And it has to do with, so if you want to get 10 inches, you do 2 5s versus doing 5 2s. Because you have to spray it, let it cure a little bit, spray it, let it cure a little bit.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I always ask a lot of questions.
It actually did kind of work out though. We've been in meetings all afternoon trying to like iron out the final details with the whole issue with the shipping container house in the first place.
It's the final details. Diddle-oo-doo.
Anyway. The reason we didn't share it last week with you of like what the plan is because it hasn't been signed off yet from the permitting or engineering office. We have what we want to do.
I think it's going to be pretty cool if we can do it.
Oh, it's going to be sick. But even today, like so many changes happened from the original plan. So until we have like everything ironed out, we want to like kind of hold it close to the chest.
Exactly. We don't want to put our foot in our mouth again.
Yeah.
So we also took advantage of being at the Dome and we put on some soup, which has been cooking all day on the wood stove. But I think we're going to call it a day and we're going to hope for some good weather tomorrow and we will see you in the morning. We are up bright and early this morning, hoping to get a good start on the day. We're fingers crossed the weather is going to cooperate with us. So Tyler has actually headed up to the house to get started on getting the insulators going, get a fire lit so it's warm in there while they're working. And while he's doing that, I'm going to get started on making us a breakfast down here. So today is definitely not a sit down type of breakfast like we normally have. Instead, we're going to do some protein shakes, and that's thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Ritual. I used to think protein shakes were just for athletes and bodybuilders, but that is not the focus of Ritual. Whether you're 18 plus, 50 plus, pregnant, postpartum, they have a shake for every stage of your life. We started taking Ritual's essential protein shake a few months ago. We really wanted to make sure that with all the physical work we're doing here, we're giving nutrients that we need to our muscles. What I love most about Ritual is the fact that it contains all 9 essential amino acids, as well as 20 grams of vegan protein. That means you're going to satisfy your hunger and stay full longer. To sweeten it, all they're using is monk fruit and fermented cane sugar. That means that it doesn't have that chemical taste that some of the other protein shakes we tried have. So it's just a really nice, subtle, natural sweetness. Ritual is hooking you up with a massive 20% off your first month's purchase. So make sure you use the link in our description box down below, as well as the code TylerTodd20 to get that discount. But for now, I'm gonna get these shook up and take them up to Ty.
The tank weighs 1,500 pounds empty.
Holy, okay, we'll make sure we've got some.
It's pretty heavy. Can the truck get into beside where the tank is going?
No, like the path would be too narrow for a truck to get down.
Okay, but can the tractor go into where it needs to go?
It can't right now, but I can get it ready for tomorrow. Got a lot of work ahead of us. We got to build the path to the house in order to be able to get the tractor down there. Yeah, a lot to get done. So it's never easy and straightforward for us, it seems. The tractor has a dead battery. None of us know why. It's really weird. It was running perfectly before. So Todd's got the car here and is gonna give it a boost.
Everyone's clear?
Problem number 1 scratched off the list. The tractor is back up and running. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna start working on building the path. So we're gonna grab our handy dandy geotextile fabric. So if you caught the vlogs from the summer, the spring, we've been at this a while. You'll know that this helps us use less aggregate material, so like rock and fill, all that sort of stuff. It just prevents everything from sinking into the ground. So we're gonna grab this, bring it over, and get started. The garden is going to come over further to meet the walkway. Oh, I see.
So if we can repurpose this soil, and then next year I just mulch it.
All right, so the first thing that we're getting started on is we are going to put in a path to get to the shipping container home. You may notice some people in the background. The insulators are back and they're doing some last minute touch-ups for another really exciting project we have tomorrow. We've also got Mel here. He's firing up the tractor and we're going to get this done. Oh, and also the first thing Todd's doing is saving all of the plants that we planted last year, so.
I don't want to lose them.
Don't want to lose them, yeah.
I spent 3 years nurturing them. I'm not losing them. This is so intense. Look at the root system of just 3 years. It's wild.
Couple of moving parts, eh?
Holy, a lot. So.
What a embankment.
Yeah, so we didn't realize how big this embankment was. Props to us, high five, buddy. We did a good job of hiding it 3 years ago when we first started this project. So what we were going to do is we were going to put stairs in, but we've realized that long term that's probably not the best thing. One, it's more difficult for snow removal because you'd have to shovel each step. And then 2, aging in place stairs are going to get a bit more tricky as we get a bit older.
Look at us trying to plan ahead for the future.
I'm not building again, so.
No, absolutely not. This is taking years off our life.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're waiting for a little bit of fill to come in, and we're just going to gradually slope this all the way to the front door, put a crusher dust over it, and that'll hold us for the winter. And then in the spring we'll do like some type of paver here. What we're doing is we're repurposing the stone that built the wall so that we can still have gardens here, and we're going to do hugelkultur because it's working really well for us. So while we're waiting for the fill to come, we're actually going to switch gears and get started on trenching the lines for our propane. So Mel is driving around and he has a tight space to get past the house on the other side, and then we're going to go up and start trenching.
All right, let's go do it. I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. so close, but it just fits.
I wish that feeling would stay. The rush of being so original most days. Take my notes from the front page. They say to give it up and shout it out for capital gains. Push that button again. Yeah, I'm fine, bottom line, holding on to something fake to my chest while I'm living like the road.
Okay, I'll spin us around and get us situated.
All right.
So another example of teamwork making the dream work. Tyler has jumped into the tractor, so Mel is still on the backhoe, and when they need to inch forward, rather than Mel having to get down, Tyler's able to just move the tractor right along. Look at them, don't they make such a good team? Anyway, this is going pretty well. It's a little hard in the area that hasn't been excavated, obviously because it's undisturbed soil. But once we get out into this area, which is the main trench where we ran our water lines and our conduit this spring, it should be a lot smoother sailing. So yeah, this is going well. He's so cute in his tractor. He's so happy with it. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep picking away at the yard. I'm gonna go back over and do some more work on that rock wall while we're waiting for the fill to come.
All right, so Mel and I are just finishing up the propane line that's gonna run from the tank to the backup battery building. So what the plan is to put the tank in between the battery building and the house. So rather than having a bunch of propane tanks everywhere, we can benefit from just having one supply place. It also makes it a lot cheaper for fill-ups and all that kind of stuff. Doing all this work ourselves, it's gonna save us roughly $10,000. The most expensive part of the propane is all of the underground lines and all of that. So by doing it ourselves, we're gonna save us a lot of money, which is awesome. And just a reminder, the shipping container house, the goal is to run it as passively as possible, meaning just on solar. However, it's so important that we have a backup supply. It's kind of turned into a gray, cloudy day, so a day like today, we're not gonna have a lot of production. While solar is great, we do have to live in the reality of living in Canada, living so north. You just gotta be realistic. You gotta have a backup supply. We don't want our water lines to freeze and all of that. But the goal is, as much as we can run on solar as we will, but we'll keep you posted on how that works out in the years to come. It is good to have redundancy in your system. So we're gonna get leveling this pad for the 10x4 propane tank that's gonna go in. It's pretty big.
I wish that feeling would stay. The rush of being so original most days. Take my notes from the front page. They say to give it up and shout it out.
Way too many hours of work later. I think we've got the propane pad as level as it's gonna be. I guess we'll find out tomorrow and see what the guys say. Fingers crossed that they're okay with it. So what we're getting done now is a load of fill. It's finally ready to get dropped off. So we're gonna get that put right there. So we have a nice smooth path all the way to the shipping container house. So it's a lot safer. It needs to happen. So I'm gonna get that done now. Just a little bit further.
Today's a stressful day.
It's really stressful.
Oh my goodness, I feel a few gray hairs coming on.
I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed. It's just so much is happening today. It's good though. Like it's good. It's great that it's all happening.
It's nice that things are moving again. Like
yeah.
this is what we need, you know?
Mm-hmm. The last push for winter.
Thank you. See you.
Right now you know. Breathing heavy, keep it steady, and be ready to go. You can't stop it now. You can't stop it now. Season change. Here come the new. You can't
So Mel and I just finished as much as we possibly can to get this area ready for tomorrow. I think it looks pretty good.
I think
Do you
so
think?
too. Oh yeah. It's quite a hill. I didn't realize how big. Like that's like, we could get some skis and
Oh yeah.
yeah, get a chairlift to get back up.
I think it's pretty good though. Like it obviously is a heavy tank, so we need to have a good foundation. The spray foamers are still hard at it. They're doing the
Upper container
upper
right now.
container, yeah. Wonder if we can see. It's poisonous, obviously, so we can't go inside.
I think it's all tarped off.
Yeah, it's tarped off. You can't see anything.
You just hear it spraying.
Yeah.
But it got really cold.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly cold. So I think we're gonna go down to the dome and warm up a little bit.
Yeah. It's there's really not much more we can do right now. I am really excited to be able to go inside and see though. Like it's pretty exciting.
I'm excited about this. Like this is huge.
Yeah.
Like just how easy it's gonna be to get product down to the house now and stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. All right. Time to go clean up. So hopefully this is bright enough and you can see me. I can barely
Hopefully it doesn't look like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it probably does. So the insulators came to get us before, I'm gonna walk right into the house. They came to get us before they left and they actually said that we can go in the house and take a look. So we're gonna turn on some lights and check it out.
Oh, I like the color.
This is so cool. I'm obsessed.
I'm loving it. I'm also kind of blown away. Like,
At how warm?
yeah, especially considering we only have 2 inches of insulation. That's kind of hard to say.
This is insulation.
It's been a long couple days.
This is pulling a lot of the weight though.
Yeah, but I mean, so eventually we're gonna have a full 6 inches of insulation, but it's so hard to say. But right now we only have 2, and that's because we want to have a vapor barrier, which 2 inches now gives us, and it also stops the thermal bridge, which is, if we had have set our metal studs right against the container, that would have acted as a channel for cold air to enter the house. So they're actually set out 2 inches from the wall. Plus, on top of that, with all these delays, we're now officially into winter build season.
Which is obviously not ideal at all.
So we can keep some heat in here while we're working, which is big. It's huge.
It's huge. Like we have so many projects coming up, and I'm sure some of you are probably wondering, like, why has insulation happened before electrical and plumbing and all of that? But hopefully this makes sense, because now that this is a warm building, there's still space in all of the cavities to do our plumbing, to do our wires and
4
everything.
inches to be exact.
Yeah, so then once all that's done, we'll be able to insulate even more. It's great.
Do you know what our next project should be?
What?
Finding a second chair for you to sit beside me.
Yeah. We should really spring for another chair. Anyway, we're going to figure that out. And until then, we'll see you Sunday.
Bye.